These buses are not like the SMRT version of the O405s. They go when they decelerate, and they make a lot of growling noises. That's because they have a W3E gearbox instead of a ZF 4HP 500 gearbox. Okay, here's the thing. Maxson only really got into YouTube, like in the bus side of things, since 2012. But prior to 2012, he has been uploading exotic car videos, like, supercars, like race cars, stuff like that. And I was curious to see if Maxson ever, quote unquote, accidentally documented one of these buses, obviously not in this livery, but like in the SBS Transit red and purple livery. So, so just now, I literally combed all of his old videos from 2009 all the way till, if I'm not mistaken, early June 2011, just trying to find evidence of whether he actually managed to film the SBS O405. So I literally combed all of them, like legit all of them. I mean, up till like this point, where it's already past like June 2011. Guess what I found? I am going to be playing this in 0.25 speed. Ready? Did you see that? Now, as you know, video cameras sucked at that time. But this is a telltale sign that this one is an O405 and not any other bus. So I'm just gonna snip off this part. I'm just gonna dial up the brightness a little bit and sharpen the image. This is your evidence. Again, how do you truly tell? Let's compare it with SG Bus's photo. Now I'm just going to move back and forth between these two images so that you can compare. Do you see it? Okay, so this is for like the younger bus enthusiasts who may not have had a chance to experience this bus before, because the last year that these ran in Singapore was like 2011, and then some of them survived and got shipped to Bangkok. But then when they got shifted to Bangkok, they were converted to like I think CNG, and then they lost their W3E gearbox. It got replaced, like it got retrofitted away. It was neither VoIP nor ZF, but you could still hear the growls. Okay, so the one way to tell that this is an O405 for sure is the grille at the rear of the bus. This is the one telltale sign, because you might be asking like, hey, how do you know that this is an O405 and not like a B10M? So for B10M, it is a mid-engine bus. So you would see like the grille at the near side of the bus, like somewhere around here and not here, if it was a B10M. And the thing is, you might also think, hey, what about Scania N113 CRB? Well, the issue is that all N113 CRBs in Singapore were Walter Alexander PS bodywork. They were not this bodywork, which is Dupo Matsec, DM in short. Some of them are OAC, some of them are NAC, then it became CAC, converted aircon. The other thing that you look out for is this like window line curvature thingy. Now let's go to this image. The exact same curvature, just that it's from a different angle. And look, the grill is there at the rear of the bus. And then inside the bus, it looks kind of like blue, grayish, or white. Because the lighting for Volvo B10M, be it Mark III or Mark IV, they tend to be a little bit yellowish or darker in that sense, but because like the O405, the interior was like mostly light gray. For the DMCAC, the interior was like, as in the top panels were like cream, and then for the OACs, be it both Walter Alexander PS or DM OAC, they were like pink. It's like dark pink. I wouldn't say it's maroon, but it's like dark pink with a slight tinge of purple. You know that color, right? So when you shine like white light inside the interior, it would appear like blue gray, and there's like pretty much no shade or tinge of like yellow, which is present in like Volvo B10Ms. And then you also look at like this line thingy over here. That is also present here. And then you look at the front. Exactly the same. So here's the thing, like even if you cannot like see a bus properly, you just have to look out for these like little details that would give away what bus model it is. Maxson has also used this clip in like his other compilations, but this is one of the videos whereby you can find clear-cut evidence that Maxson has indeed recorded a Mercedes-Benz O405. Like, the video is focusing on like cars, but like, again, this is clear-cut evidence that there is indeed an SBS O405 on his channel. It's just really obscure and not easy to find. But I took the effort to find it for you guys. So now you have clear-cut evidence. The reason why I made this video is because, look, this bus was objectively trash because they overheated a lot. Mercedes-Benz buses in the 1990s, they were kind of trash because their cooling was terrible. And yes, they, like I said, they overheated a lot. Some of the SMRT ones, be it the rigid or the bendies, they caught fire because it's a Mercedes-Benz in a 1990s Mercedes-Benz bus. So yeah, as much as objectively it was crap, I love this bus a lot. I miss it a lot. I still wish I could hear this sound IRL. Again, I don't know if Australia still has like some of them preserved, but yeah, I miss this bus. And the only copium I have now, copium basically means something that you use to cope, is to, draw this bus. But unfortunately, I cannot say the same for like most of the bus enthusiasts in Singapore now. Now, it is unfair to judge people who have never ever been on board this bus before, like they're way too young or something, like they just have no memory of this bus. That is completely fine. But here's the thing, the reason why I even say this in the first place is because, okay, I admit this drawing low-key looks like a collision between two buses, a near collision. The difference between us is only 2 years. So I am actually from the same generation as him. However, I started YouTube in Japan, my home, at a much later time. He started YouTube in Singapore as in like when he first recorded his first bus video, it was 2012. And then I believe it was like 2009. So, in essence, all the O405 content was located here. And before him, there were like many other YouTubers that filmed, like, let's say Volvo B10M Mark II and then Scania N113CRB. There were other YouTubers that like cover that as well. I've shout out them. I've mentioned them before. So yeah, in a way, on the SBS side of things, O405, as well as like, let's say VO2X on 157, and then there's like some more. I don't know whether other people have those videos or not, but yeah. As well as like this, stuff like that. Oh yeah, and SG Buses also has like this on this crossover slot. It was Soon Lee crossing over to Bukit Batok, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, so what I was trying to say is that when Maxson started YouTube, this was when SMRT had the Trans Island Bus Services era of buses. This was when the SMRT's fleet was the most colorful. So you could search up, like, let's say Dennis Lenz, Hino, Scania, Elbow, Walter Alexander Strider, and stuff like that. He was the one, like, in between 2012 to 2016. That was his peak. Hunting cameos in this era was like, it was much more difficult because you actually had to hard cam for stuff. It was like really time consuming and sometimes not worth the effort to like hunt every single thing. But this era, pretty much every single so-called rare or uncommon appearance, or even like bendy buses on 167, 855, 961, I mean stuff like that, pretty much all of it, if you type it, was caught by him. And here's the thing, by like around April 2026, I will no longer be in Southeast Asia anymore. So yeah. So pretty much anything that was like special, say maybe this one that happened in I've talked about this before, it happened in year 2017. Basically anything between anything between the years of like 2012 till 2021-ish, it was covered by him. And then there was like a whole gap whereby like other YouTubers managed to like cover all of the so-called rare cameos, regardless of whether they're actually objectively rare or not. And then oh my god, there is really no space. Yep. Okay, I'm gonna shift it a little bit. Okay, I'm gonna standardize a little bit. I'm just going to bring out his peak period. I would say up till this. So you could see 3 different distinct eras of buses, like in Singapore. I only put the 2 years there because like many people mistake me for like a new generation bus enthusiast. So the thing is like I have like lived on and off like between Singapore and Japan. It's just very on and off. It's like a few months I go there and then a few months I return to, and then I mean it's like, you know, on and off. I return here, I return there, and stuff like that. But I grew up in Singapore. I am homesick beyond belief. I cannot wait to go back home. I mean, objectively speaking, how do you even like classify these eras, I would say, how should I put it? Okay. And then this one would be classics. Yeah, I think I'll put it this way. And I think my era would be okay. I really don't know what to like. Really don't know what to say about this one, but I'm just laundry listing things in general. And probably you could say Sunli 8 to 22, whatever, something along those lines. You guys get the idea. Anyway, I only brought this up because some people think like, oh, I am the next Maxson or something. So you might ask, what is going to happen to the Singapore bus scene in general? Like, who is going to take over? I would say, let's just give it a 9-10 year period. I'm bad at math, but 2026 to 2030, let's just say this era. Who will take over? And there is bad news. Again, it's not because like, oh, I want to say I'm like really good, I'm like a show off or what, but I'm just saying like objectively, who is there? And I only brought this up because many people compared me to Maxson, and then a lot of people they said like, hey, who is going to take over? And again, objectively, who is going to continue documenting the SG public bus scene in the future? And the reason why I said like it's bad news is because unfortunately I haven't seen a single person who is able to actually live up to these standards. And what I mean is that yes, they are very, very good at like documenting the rare cameos or like the transitions between like when an old interchange goes out and a new interchange comes in, when a new bus model, haha CS, and when an old bus model CS and then a new bus model comes in and takes over, that kind of stuff. It's like they are very, very good at it. But the issue is, although the reason why I chose you and I chose you is because it's all about the preservation of history thing. I haven't came across any other YouTuber that manages to preserve history like this. When it comes to preserving history, there is one, which is him, my friend, and you can also watch him for like the old elevator videos as well. His camera was like top notch back in the day. But other than this, like, okay, minus the elevator side, because the elevator side, people have genuinely worked hard to like document stuff in general, be it short videos, compilation videos, long videos, or whatever. It's like there's already enough content when it comes to like elevators in general. Because it's like when I'm saying this objectively, I feel like nobody thus far has managed to like live up to these standards, like have a genuine passion for like preserving history. I'm not saying like actually preserve the buses or the trains in itself, but just documenting in general and putting it up to public domain and not like a restricted domain, hard to find like Instagram or stuff like that. I know the younger people, they generally prefer Instagram nowadays, but it's like that's not necessarily public domain like most of the time. When you want to search for it, it sometimes doesn't get detected in like the search results in general. Although I will say though, I will say that like LTG is one source of like photos for like the so-called rare cameos, I would say. So yes, that's technically public domain as well. This one, I would say it's an honorable mention. Again, really sorry for using this word, but it's like I haven't found anybody that's like competent. Like it's like the whole baton, unofficial baton passing down thing. Unfortunately, I just haven't found anyone that's like competent enough to like carry on what we have done or are currently doing. Cause like the typical bus or train enthusiast in Singapore. Okay, I would say that the train side is actually quite well done. People like genuinely, they go out and document like every single thing, every single train run. They are legit crazy, by the way, like in a good way. But for the bus side, all I see is like they go inactive. They only post like every single month or so about the transition period, like old interchange go out, new interchange come in, bus model out, new bus model in, this kind of thing. And whatever that is in between, like the first year of a bus's lifespan and the 17th year or like 19 and 20, they're like trying to extend it. But in between the 15 years, unless it is something that is like fucking rare enough, those enthusiasts won't even bother to like film anything. And let's be honest, without me and my friends like Jared Ong helping out, as well as like a few other YouTubers, you guys will not even be able to document all of the OCs properly. We've managed to clear it all the way down to like 182 and 255 left. These are the two bus services that still have zero Mercedes-Benz OC500 LE documentation on YouTube. But hey, here's the thing. Without us clearing these things for you, you guys wouldn't even bother to like clear the damn OC50LEs yourself. And therefore, this list of 182, 255 would get a lot bigger. And it's not just OC500LE. It also applies to like the SMRT Pixel and Virals. It also applies to the MAN 822 Euro 5s, which for some reason go under documented. I don't know why. Because here's the thing. Unfortunately, I have to say, every single time this stupid thing appears or like a new debut appears, you're like, oh my god, man, you're thieves! And you're small idiots! Big idiots! Ah! I see people at Boon Lay not caring about the OCs and the MAN 822 Euro 5s at all. But when the stupid Euro 6 A22s appear, y'all go rush and snap it and stuff like that. When these stupid things literally have like, I don't know, let me just count even though I'm not good at math. They have like 10 years of lifespan left. And when I tell them to film whatever buses that I mentioned in the top right hand corner, they're like, no, it's a waste of my time. But whenever an E6 appears, you all ask for like, location please, location please, location please! And honestly, I don't even think you need to document this because this stupid bus and this stupid bus, minus the electric bendy buses, they are just horrible LTA spec buses. They have nothing unique about them. Their doors closing and bus stopping chime is all sensory overload. And it's not like B5LH, despite the bus being a crap bus. Okay, to be fair, it's like, it's nice to drive, but it's not necessarily nice to ride, partially because of like the aircon or like the awkward seating configuration, that kind of thing. But here's the thing. At the very least, this bus has character. I would even argue that the Yutong E12 single deck or double decker, I would even argue that that one still has some form of character, in the sense that like the DD version of it, when you go to the upper deck, it kind of looks like a plain interior, as in PLANE, aeroplane. That's all I'm gonna say. Until the electric bendy buses come in, I am genuinely worried about Singapore's bus scene, and that's why I keep pointing to this. And to be honest, even if the electric bendy buses come in, I think most of your channels would end up being like, oh, documenting the electric bendy buses and pretty much nothing else, because by that time, everything nice would have been gone already. Even like the Volvo B90L rides, they would have been like gone by then. So this is kind of worrying. I'm still thinking like, who exactly is like competent enough to like take over the throne, or like the baton, if you would say. Although at this point, even though it's not directly related to like documentation of bus models, documentation of routes that change over time, that also exists. So what I was talking about just now is, ta-da! Okay, I might be mistaken, but if I'm not mistaken, the channel started doing like the hyperlapses, documenting changes of routes over time. It happened like it started in these years, I think, and then it's not just him, but like it's like a whole group of people doing hyperlapses, and they can cover for each other as well. Because ultimately, because Singapore doesn't fucking do bus preservations or like train preservations, and even then, it's not even like a bus or train running anymore. It's more of like it's just static display. That it's not even fun. It's not like the UK where they actually do historical runs with either their like buses or trains. And even the Harry Potter train counts as well. It's something that's like special that they do like every once in a while. And unfortunately, Singapore just doesn't do that. So the buses and trains in Singapore, they are bound to get really, really boring. And the only channel, be it bus or train, that would survive this, it's him and his other hyperlapse friends as well. And I wouldn't even say this. I would say forever, because all he needs to do is just to keep updating the hyperlapses, and his channel would survive. Like when I mean survive, I mean like actually thrive and actually still sort of like grow, because over time there would still be people that like watch the videos, if you get what I mean. So here's the thing. Still able to travel, UK, Japan. When you look at this, somebody has to continue. Although I nominated him because he's currently the only channel that like realistically would actually survive and thrive in the long run, because of how his channel, like his content, it's like how his channel is oriented, how his channel is about. I don't know what I'm supposed to say, but well, yeah, because when you're doing YouTube, you need to like prioritize what your viewers actually want. You can do side projects as well, but you still need to like stay relevant. My audience is still 65 to 80% Japanese people. Just in case you guys didn't know. So yeah, but the reason why some channels are just objectively saying are able to survive better than others is because, let's say for him, he is very niche. He does like his so-called, I know it's for fun, but it's like he does his job really well, and it's like his videos are clean. Like the format is clean, it's consistent, unlike me. So yeah, and then okay. He covers like bus, train, tram, elevators, escalators as well. This is called like branching out and not being like one dimensional. And then Maxson, he does mostly bus and trains, but the reason why his videos get so much pull is, even like, the self-driving automated pods in, how do I pronounce that place's name? Heathrow Airport. It's like, I'm sorry, I don't know how to pronounce UK's places names, but like place names, but like yeah, it's like there is a reason why some channels can just survive better than others, and I'm just like messy, and then yeah, he's niche. He's good at what he does. And when I mean one-dimensional, I mean something like, let's say you open YouTube and it's all about like, let's say, uh, rare cameo, joyride, or like, let's say, a train video. What else can I put in here that's like actually realistic? Okay, maybe first day of operations, or like last day before the place closes, maybe like diversion. Okay, maybe another joyride video. This is actually pretty decent, although again, objectively speaking, this kind is like kind of one-dimensional. And to solve this, you can add some more things that are like kind of relevant. You can add this, you can add this. These are just suggestions. You could like add them in, or you could just be like me and stop yapping to no end, provided you know your content well. Because the issue that some YouTubers like genuinely face is that they hit their ceiling because either they don't post enough, which is understandable, because like not everybody has like the time in the world to do stuff. But like when people are only like concerned about like, let's say, rare cameo, joyride, first day, last day, diversion, train video, joyride, when people are only like really interested in this, your how to say, impressions click through rate, or like your video audience retention is like typically lower, because you're kind of predictable. They already know that your content is just catching the rarest cameos possible. Then in the long run, you wouldn't really do good, especially come year 2030, 2032 or what, whereby all the so-called rare cameos would start to die out. And that's the reason why these kinds of channels, they might thrive now, but you go like 10 years down the road, they might start to like stagnate or like hit the ceiling, which is something that SG Buses has talked about. But the reason why SG Buses he's able to survive is because his range, his like scope of things is really wide. He covers a lot of countries, and you will genuinely like never ever get bored of like watching his videos. It's the same format, but here's the thing. His scope is so wide that literally you just wouldn't get bored of it. And I'm talking about like objectively. And unfortunately, because a lot of people, they either don't have intel, or like they are not really interested in the operations. They're kind of only interested in like hunting rare cameos, joyrides, or rare trains in general, like just filming. That's fine. It's just that like I'm telling you guys, if you guys know your content, you yap a little bit more, just like me, you would get the subscribers. But this is only if you have the content knowledge like at your fingertips, which is something that honestly is not easy to do, because not every bus enthusiast can actually say that like, I've memorized the entire street directory, or like most of it in my case, or like the bus routes in Singapore. Because knowing the bus route is one thing, but being able to like state every single I'm not saying every single bus stop, that's impossible. Every single like road that the bus passes through in both directions, that's not easy. I've managed to cover like 95% of the bus routes, except the special ones or like the JIS services. But if you tell me, you give me like a random 3-digit number, if the bus exists, not just now, but like if it existed in the past, I might be able to like just regurgitate, just flat out vomit out the whole route to you. And unfortunately, if you're not like that well versed in this, it kind of limits the kind of content that you're able to like even yap about in the first place, especially if you don't have intel. So a reason why I talk about this is because some people have like brought up to me about, how YouTubers, they generally hit their ceiling after a while, or like how they are unable to push out content. Like they kind of like get creative block. They stagnate for a while. But here's the thing. if you're low effort, your viewers wouldn't be so strict on you. They wouldn't expect too much from you in that sense. Because what I'm doing right now is literally just me talking, yapping in front of a computer, a laptop screen. And if you're the kind of person who goes by like high quality editing, it will be like a lot slower to like, unless you have a lot of backlog, it's just a lot of work. Unless you're like high quality editing, you would generally churn out videos a lot slower in that sense. So if you're low effort and people don't really expect much of you and they are not even able to predict what your next video would be, that's actually better for you because you're able to keep them entertained for like a longer period of time as compared to like others in general. So enough of my yapping. Maxson has indeed filmed an O405, but I'm just using this to explain like the whole timeline and how Singapore bus or train scene is gonna be like 10 years down the road. It's just that, again, I really wish other than him, who has done a good job, somebody else can really take over us. Here's one thing that I want to like say first. It's when the KUVs and OC500LEs are no more, you guys have to focus on the Volvo B9TLs, the MAN A22 Euro 5s, and the MAN A24s. And you might even need to start filming the Citaros, be it the Pixel Citaros or like just SMRT SBS livery. You have to, because that's the only content that you'll ever be able to get between 2026 and like let's say 2035 before all your content gradually switches to like, oh, electric bendy bus, that's all. So yeah, I'm just a heads up for now. But again, as I say all this, I genuinely don't know if anybody is like able to, you know, like say they preserve history and they have a good love of history, be it like let's say for example the series whereby the unofficial series whereby I recreate routes by splicing footage from different buses. I try my best to ensure that like I get the same bus model consistency. Even A22 plus A24 I don't mind. It's just that some of them they're way too difficult. I kind of gave up halfway and yeah. But I don't really see anybody other than like one or two people like that are trying to like emulate what I did. But I'm like, my videos are like, or whatever I post online are completely free. Just feel free to take them. You don't have to credit me. You don't have to ask me. Just literally just take it. And let's say you want to use my footage for like either a compilation of like filming buses from outside, or like you want to use my front view footage for like your own bus route recreations. Just go ahead and do it. Because I'm just kind of disappointed that like even though I make my content free, nobody has really made all those bus route recreations yet. Because I'm very sure some of you have like 167 double-decker or like 400 double-decker footage, which is really valuable to recreate some of like the old routes. But if you want like some of my better done ones, it's SBS 50, SBS 148, and tips 865/SBS 85. If you guys want a sped up version of the tips 865 or like SBS 85, please let me know. I will download my own video and I'll speed it up for you. Because this is a pre-NEL route and only the 119 sector exists today. 864 is now 80. 866, which was 59, is now 86. And 85 no longer exists except the 119 part. So if you're interested in that, you can go watch it, or if you want a sped up version of it, you can tell me in the comments. Bye.